This is YaSheema Marshall. Hello, everyone. YaSheema Marshall with YaSheema Marshall Parent Coaching and Consulting. I'm also the host of the Hot Moms Conference that goes on every year here in Orlando, Florida. And I'm also the founder and owner of a nonprofit called Renaissance Family Solutions. Today we're here because I am hosting what I'm calling the virtual Hot Moms Motherhood Empowerment Summit. So what is that? A lot of words, just a Motherhood Empowerment Summit. And really basically what we're doing this week, every day this week, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m., I've invited some women and mothers, and I've called them the Mom Spurts. They're going to be joining us every evening, and we're going to be talking about a topic that's relevant to motherhood, and that they have some great things and insights and tips and tools to share with us. And so yesterday I kicked it off talking about motherhood and mommy guilt. And so we had a really great discussion about that. And today we're going to be talking about mom's life, work life, and balance. You know, what that is, what it looks like for everyone. Is it really possible to have the perfect balanced life? We'll talk about that. And how the flow really is going to go is that I do have questions for each one of my panelists, interviewees, or special guests, however you want to call them, whatever I'm calling them here. I do have questions for them. However, we're going to really be more of a conversation, talk, discussion type of atmosphere. So it'll be more laid back, more relaxed. We will hit all the topics. And while we're talking, so we'll go on and I'll ask my questions, and we'll have a discussion for about 20 to 25 minutes, however it goes on. We're here from 7 to 8, but it may not go that long. And then you'll have the opportunity to ask some questions. If you're thinking about some questions and you have some questions in mind while we're talking, while we're discussing mom life, work, and life balance, make sure you go ahead and type it into chat. Now, I can hear you, and you can type on there. I can't hear you unless I unmute you, but I can. You can hear me. You can hear the panelists, and you can also type in the chat area here if you have some questions, or you have a question there and you have something to say. So I'm going to get started here. So I have a special guest on, and they're not on just yet, but I am very versed in the topic of mom's work, life, and balance. And I also have some people here that are also, very versed on that. And if you have something to say, Dr. Takisha, because you are one of the panelists for the week, feel free, if you have something to say. If I chime in, or if I ask you a question, feel free to chime in at any point in time. Raise your hand, and I'll bring you on as a panelist so we can all hear you talk and speak. And same for you, Kiki. I know you're not on till Friday, but you're here with us. If you have something to say, definitely raise your hand, and I'll bring you all on to speak something. So what I'm initially was going to do, and what I'll be doing all week, so you know, Kiki and Dr. Takisha, is that once we get started, I'm going to broadcast it and share and go live on Facebook. And that's for some of the people who, okay. Let's see. Nope. That was someone saying they were trying to get there. And I'm going to broadcast it on Facebook. And that's for some people who are maybe not familiar or comfortable with the Zoom applications, or some of your followers, some of my followers. And it's just easy for them to jump on Facebook and hear us live. And so I will be doing that so people can hear us and see that. Let me pull my chat up too. I think I have it down so I can't see if anybody's saying anything. Okay. All right, great. So anyway, let's get started here. So Kiki, you are muted. Are you muted, Kiki? You can type it in there, yes, if you don't want.
Yes, I was muted.
Okay, awesome. You can mute yourself if you want to, or you can feel free to just join me in this discussion here.
Okay.
And I'll kick it off here. I mean, the big thing about being a mother, and why I wanted to talk about the mom's work-life balance, is that because for mothers, it's always a challenge, it seems. And not because we're not organized, not because you don't have everything together, not because you're not using your schedules or what have you, but sometimes I think when you say balance to people sometimes that, taking my glasses off, sorry guys, that they think that balance has to be just this magic ball and that everything just forms into a perfect circle and that everything always flows according to every little dot in life. And so when you talk about balance, people kind of get all nervous and get really anxious about it, because if they feel if they're not balanced, if everything is not going accordingly every single point of the day with their life, with their job, with their relationships, with their business, with everything that's going on, then they feel like they're crazy or they're not a good mom. We feel like we're not a good mom. We're not doing anything good. So, today we were going to have a discussion about that, like what that really means, like, juggling and juggling and juggling, life, and what work life, what that balance means for all of us. And particularly for me, and as a mom, especially when I was a young mom. Now, my youngest children are now 16 and 12, going on 13. But when I was a young mom, when my kids were little guys, this word balance was like, it was like, like an anointed word. It was like the word, it was like what my life had to be, and I swear I probably went around making sure everything was balanced. And I don't know if it was because I was a newer mom, or if it was because I felt that if I appeared to other people not to have it all together, my life, have the kids in order, have my things at church in order, have my job together, have my marriage running in perfect harmony. If I didn't have all these things together, oh, hold one second, guys. Let's see. Are you? Oh, there you go. Hold on one second, guys. We're trying to get my. I have a phone and attendee. Lakeisha, I think this is Vyky trying to call in, but it doesn't give me an option for a call-in person to come on as a panelist. Is that true, Lakeisha?
I don't. It shouldn't be.
But it won't allow me to unmute her.
It won't allow you just to unmute her? Now that's weird.
It's because the call-in.
Can you? So she can't unmute herself. You can't. You said you can't bring her on as a panelist?
No, it won't. It doesn't let me do anything with. It has one phone call and listener, but it won't let me bring her in.
Oh, and if you invite her, it just.
Interesting. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. And
hey, Tamisha.
Hi, Tamisha. Oh, let's see.
Let me see.
Give me a second. Let me just respond to her here. This is our.
What happened? So she can't raise her hand either.
No, that's why I think the problem is that she's calling. I think because you're calling in, Vyky, if you can hear me, that it won't let me bring you in as.
Yeah, she's going to have to join either on the app on her phone or on her computer. You like download the app. I'm not sure if she has it, or join from her computer.
Yeah, I think that's what it's doing. It won't let her. But I think she can hear me. But hold on.
We want to hear her.
I know. Okay, she's going through the app. All right, awesome.
Okay,
Because we're waiting for you. We're so excited to hear you. And so she's gonna go to the app. Yeah, it won't let me. It shows her on here, but it won't let me do anything with her.
Yeah, I can see her. I could see her. I can see her too, but no.
Okay, I thought it was just me and my end. I wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yep.
All right, good. And so, hi, Tamisha, if you're just joining us. We're getting going in a second. Okay, she can't hear me. Okay, Vyky can hear me. She's gonna be getting. We're waiting for our special guest, but we're just here chit chatting about work, life, and balance in motherhood. Just how challenging that could be, and I was just kind of sharing a little bit of my story as a mom myself, and when I was a younger mom, and the need to feel so balanced in life and and making sure I had to have everything in order, and how when I tried to live that way for such a long time, it was tough, juggling everything. And let me be honest with you, I'm not a clown, and I've never been a part of the circus, but I became a pretty good juggler. A pretty good juggler, and some of you may have as well. But at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, is that I think with balance, sometimes we get so caught up in the perfection of what balance is that we kind of lose sight of really what we're trying to achieve. Because I think sometimes really at least for me personally, when I was trying to balance life, I was really trying to do what was good and what was important for me and my family, and what that looks like at that particular time. Because for me, as a mother, I was a working mom first, then came home and was a work-at-home mom, not a stay-at-home mom, a work-at-home mom, because I had my daycare in my home. And I did that for some few years. And I was also going to school full-time, and so was my husband. And then I went back to the workforce again, and then some years later became on my own business, a mompreneur. So at each stage of my life, being the work-at-home mom, the stay-at-home mom, the CEO mom, and just the 9-to-5 mom, each time it was a different sense of balance that I needed to have. Because at each time there was something different going on with my life, or it was different goals. There were different expectations. There were different needs that my family and I needed. There's Vyky. I'm going to promote you to panelist Vyky so you can join us on here. And let me make sure I unmute you. There you go. I unmuted you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was over there trying to figure out the thing. I promise you, I'm very, very tech savvy. I just don't know what went on today.
No, it was on, and usually I thought you could join, have someone join with the call in, but it wouldn't do anything with you. It just showed you were calling in, but it wouldn't let me bring you in as a participant. It won't let me unmute or anything.
Well, we're here now.
Yeah, so I said, good, he's here, guys. I was just kind of shooting the breeze and running my mouth a little bit about my balance and all that good stuff, and just talking about how I thought when I was a newer mom, and my kids they're 16 and 13 now, the younger ones. My older one is 25, but and I was, when they were little guys, 4 and 2, how I felt the need. Balance was this word that I was like, oh, it was like God. It was like it was an anointed word, and
it was scary.
It was scary, and I was like,
yeah.
if I get my life balance, everything's gonna fall apart.
Mind you, also as a mother, we're already having this thought process of perfection. How are we going to be the perfect parent? How are we going to perfect this parenting? And now you're talking about throwing work into the mix as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
And so we're here, you guys. So like I was telling you, each day of the week, Monday through Friday, I'm going to be bringing on a special guest who is a mom's first, and that I call her. She's a mother. They're mothers, and they're also experts in some of the areas we're going to be talking about. And so tonight, our special guest is Vyky. I'm always concerned if I say your last name. Is it Vyky or
Vyky?
Okay,
yes.
Good for me. So good. So I have her on today. She did a video. I wish I could have showed her video. It was too funny. I saw that video after I asked you to come and speak, and I was like, "How cool!"
I know. It was so crazy. I had an interview. When was it? I think it was the following, I don't know, 3 days after we had talked, after you had sent me what we were going to be talking about. And this interview, I thought that we weren't going to be talking at all about work-life balance. I just thought that it was going to be women and the conference and everything. And then she asked me that question, and I'm like, again, with this balance in work, in life.
But I loved it. And so here you are, Vyky,
Thank you.
introduce yourself to the women. Tell them who you are and what you do and what you're all about.
Well, my name is YaSheema Vyky. Thank you so much, YaSheema, for having me on. What it is that I do is I have two different businesses. Well, originally I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm from Miami, Florida. I moved to Orlando, I want to say in 2015. And I went to school in Miami at Miami International University for fashion design. And then life kind of hit me and was like, all right, well, you're going to need to make some money. So I then moved to Orlando and I joined our family business, which was a financial company. So I'm a CPA. So I started in finance, which doesn't match a fashion designer kind of transitioning into accounting. But I then found a love with my creative side of building businesses. I was learning how to build a business, learning how to build our family business. So then from there, I started saving money. I started invested in a nightclub downtown. And it was another business for me to kind of grow. From there, crisis kind of happened in my life where it caused me to turn into a different direction. And I then looked around me and there were all of these women that were these powerful women around me, and what they were doing was lifting me up. And I thought that was so powerful. So it created a need within me. And so I started a women's conference here called I Am Brave. So that right there is my heart. That's my nonprofit. But I also have a creative company where I do social media marketing. Mm-hmm. So that's my creative side. And then now I get to also feed my nonprofit, my heart, which is women.
Awesome. And that's kind of where I met you at. You were doing the I Am Brave, and I said, oh, that's
yes.
cool. And so I came to your I Am Brave one of these years. I've been to it twice, and it was awesome. I so enjoyed it. So powerful and impactful. And so
thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes. And so here I am today and talking with you about that, with doing all that. And so, and you have an older son.
Yes, I have an 11-year-old.
Yes. And then you just add on to your family in like the last 2 years.
Yes. I was talking to my husband the other day. I was like, how did you have me pregnant for 2 years straight? Because now we have a 1-year-old and I think she's going to be, and a 3-month-old. So I don't know God wanted something in my life to shift. And he said, no, this parenting thing, you're kind of doing a good job. Let me throw a little bit more at you to raise and bring into this world.
Exactly. Beautiful. I love the pictures you post of them. And so I know, even, with that, and you were hitting on some very important things with balance. When we say that, when someone says work-life balance to you, mm-hmm. What's the first thing that goes through your mind with that?
First thing that goes to my mind always is when they come with that word, it's, what are you talking about? Like, how on earth? So I must have gone to clown school, because when you say balance, now I'm thinking of, all right, do I have one foot in the air, this other arm in the air? Am I balancing something on my nose as well? But balance just to me is a false ideology. Like I struggled with that so much in the beginning of trying to balance, quote unquote, life and motherhood and a business. So the balance part to me doesn't resonate so much as planning does. Planning and executing, being able to allocate in your day what it is that you're going to do and breaking it up in mm-hmm. your day, mm-hmm. your balance. There isn't a balance, because when you put balance in somebody's head, they're thinking in their head, everything has to have a place. Whereas no, everything needs to be compartmentalized. My husband always says that, men are like waffles and women are spaghetti. Men, when they are thinking about things, they compartmentalize. Whereas women, everything is all strung in together, which is absolutely true. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking about the spaghetti in my head and you're telling me to balance all of that, I'm already having anxiety because I don't even know how to achieve that.
Exactly. As soon as you say that word, you're like, your mind all of a sudden goes to all of the million things that were in your head. And you're looking like, wait a minute, there's only 4 hours, but
right.
I have a million things here. How many of these million things here in these 4 hours? And it's like, who told you had to do it like that? But that's true. That's where you
all of a sudden you have to get dinner on the table. You have this email you need to send. You needed to follow up with this person. You do have to finish that project that you were working on. Oh, but then also, are the children's homework done? All of a sudden, everything comes at you all at once, and you think, how am I going to balance?
Yes.
Whereas it's not balancing. every single portion of your day needs to be allocated. That way you're not giving half of a parent to your children and half of a employee to your work, or half of a CEO to your business. How is it that you're allocating that way on each task? You're able to give 110%.
And then some people, you have different ways of doing that. You know, sometimes people will ask you, where, you know, like when I had younger boys, I had my boys, I was working full time at times. I also had a business at a point in time. I was also going to school full time. My husband was going to school. I was a leader at my church. I was doing this and people would say,
it's a lot.
Well, oh, it was a lot. And they would say, how do you do it all? How do you do? Oh, don't ask me that. You know,
that's the question. And I feel like lately, ever since I over the last few years, after I had 2 more children, every time I see somebody now, they're like, how are you balancing it all? How are you doing it all? And I'm like, oh, if I could tell you the half of it, because I'm telling you, it took me a long time to figure out how to balance it. And for me, myself personally, I'm not saying that it's one specific something that's going to work for every single person, because everybody is an individual. Everybody has their priorities, and they're able to adapt in themselves what works for them. But for me personally, it has been planning, being able to know at this time, this is what needs to happen. At this time, this is what needs to happen. Because I noticed for myself personally, I wasn't giving my all to anything. And so if I'm not able to give my all to anything, what is going to succeed?
That's right.
You know? So for me, and I think it has a little bit to do with me being a Virgo, a perfectionist, there's so much pressure. It's so much pressure to try to only give a portion of myself to something and it not succeed. And I'm sitting here wondering why, when I'm giving my all in my head, even though it's just a portion of me, I'm giving my all. Why is this not succeeding? I'm trying to do it perfect. Why? What isn't working? And what wasn't working was me and the way it was that I was allocating my time to different tasks throughout my day.
That's good. And it's interesting that you say that, because sometimes it has to happen. Sometimes you have to reprioritize your life. And unfortunately, some things are not going to make the cut.
Exactly.
You're like, ooh, I'm so sorry, but so sorry, not sorry, but I'm sorry, kind of. But you really have to sit back, and it takes sometimes for some people, it takes a burnout. Sometimes for certain people, it takes your kids saying something, your spouse saying something, your employer saying something, your business failing. You know, it's certain things that it takes for you to say, whoa, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm trying to balance everything, but I'm trying to balance everything, and some things I shouldn't even have in my hand trying to balance.
Right.
Why is it here? Why is it on my schedule? Are you supposed to be here? Am I supposed to even allocate my time to you right now? And sometimes you really have to do, and that's tough for people.
Yes.
Really make that list and say, okay, what has to go? You know, and that's a challenge. And so it's, you know, with that allocating, it's like sometimes something has to go, you know, and make a choice.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead.
And that's the most difficult, because then you're trying to break somebody out of what it is that they're comfortable with. And it's breaking them out of their comfortable zone. And that is a difficult something for us as people to swallow. Change, wait, but I'm comfortable doing it this way. What, you're saying I have to remove that? But no, I need that. But why do you need that? Is it adding to your life? Is it something that is just being a time filler, or even a mind filler, where they're consuming your mind with something else that doesn't need to be placed in your mind, because you're already trying to quote unquote balance it all?
Yes. And it's too funny. And I have questions for Vyky. I don't even know if we've answered any of these questions I have for her.
I'm here.
But I love this because, you know, we definitely could go about having a talk show interview kind of situation, but I feel sometimes it goes a lot better, and you get so much more juice and information and you know, meat and potatoes when you kind of sit back and just kind of talk about it, and you know, especially when you know about it. But let me ask you one of these questions here.
Okay.
So, do you feel, and we probably answered this, but I want to ask specifically to it, but do you feel pressured? You know, we talked about it real briefly in the beginning, you know, about mothers already having that perfectionist, you know, mindset, or, you know, as a mom, even from the time we conceive before the kids even get here. But do you feel pressured to have to appear to have everything in order, to have your hair flowing perfectly, to be dressed to looking without any milk or puke on your shirt when you go out? Do you feel that pressure, you know, and who do you mostly feel that from, you know, when, in your opinion, not names, but just kind of in society?
You know what? When I was the mother recently, no, but at first, yes, I did feel pressure. I felt pressure. Number one, yes, because I'm a Virgo, so I was trying to achieve the unachievable, which was perfection. But I felt pressure because for myself, I was pressuring myself, if that makes sense. Yeah. I was putting my own pressure on myself, this own stigma, this own thought process, this own ideology on myself. And so I was pressuring myself. And then when I realized that the pressure was being put on me by myself, I changed everything. And then I started thinking about other people. And I was like, well, shoot, if I feel this pressure, I wonder what other people feel. So then I just wanted to start, if anything, showcasing the realness within my life. You know, we are in a completely different age right now, in digital age, where we're able to expose truths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There isn't, you aren't able to live in this false haze that we were able to before. And I think that me, myself personally, kind of being in the public eye, I have been trying to showcase that more, just because I don't want anybody else to put that pressure on me, and to let other people know it's okay to not put that pressure on yourself.
Right.
Because I think once you take that pressure off of yourself, you're able to just take a deep breath and breathe, and then say, okay, what do I need to do? Because the only person who's pressuring you is usually yourself. When you look around, and if you honestly start asking people, you know, hey, do I need to maintain this? Hey, do you see me in this way, and am I not living up to it? Everybody is going to tell you that they love you for who you are. Right. It has no bearings at all on your personality, out of your kindness, out of your heart. It has no bearings at all on them. And then you're able to say, oh, that must have been me putting that pressure on myself. And then I'm telling you, as soon as you take the pressure off of yourself, just breathe, take a second, look around, and then figure out, all right, what is it that I want out of life? All right, now in order to get that, what is it that I need to do? Okay, let me start executing.
Right. That's good. That's very good. Did you hear that, people? Did you hear that? I'm serious. This is kind of realization for some people, because we sit around sometimes and we're like, oh my God, they're pressuring me. You know, they think that I'm supposed to dress this way. They think,
but who is they?
Exactly. And you're like, you hear what she said? It's you. We, us. Did you hear that? Us. That we're putting the pressure. And that's true. I mean, because I'm like that myself. You know, put the pressure on yourself that it has to be perfect. Who said it had to be like that? It looks fine. Are you sure? No, it's not. It needs to change this way. No, it doesn't. It looks just fine. And everybody's going to enjoy it.
And I'm telling you, the people, all of a sudden, when you are at your truest of true, your absolute you, everything else starts falling into place. You start connecting to people on a completely different level, because you're not now becoming a chameleon and blending in, whereas you're now standing out.
I love
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're able to stand out, I tell you, things just start falling into place. Opportunities start opening themselves, because now you can see them, because there's not this haze that you have over you because you're trying to blend in, you're able to see everything clear, and these opportunities just start showing themselves to you.
Right.
And that's where you're able to grow the most, to me.
No, that's good. That's good, because it's important. It's so funny. Someone posted on Facebook today, and I swear I wanted to go on there and just put the ha 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 faces on there. But it could have been someone who was going to see that and say, why is she laughing? This is serious stuff. But they asked this simple question, and they said, how often do you try to fit in? And so the first thing that came to me, I was like, like, what? Never, but and I said, oh, YaSheema, don't do that, because, other people may not feel that way. Like you were saying, there's lots of people who still haven't gotten over that hump, still aren't there yet. Even though we're in this age, I tell you, where you feel that you have social media and you can be yourself. You don't have to fake it if you don't want to. Whatever you're presenting, is what you're presenting. And so but they were like, it was so many people on there, so many women. They were like, oh my God, I used to do this. Yes, that's me. That's totally me. That's, I was doing this. And, like you were saying, when you don't feel the pressure to have to fit into someone else's box, and the box you're fitting into is the one that you're creating for yourself.
Yes. It's the unachievable. And when you stop trying to, what is it? Expectations or not expectations. When you are trying to emulate something that isn't you, it just doesn't make sense in your life.
Yeah.
Nothing can kind of fall into place. All of us, it's just take the pressure off of yourself. Just remove it. Just take it off. I know everybody, and mind you, I understand social media, how we present ourselves.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. I do believe in personal brand, where that is your reputation.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, in your household, in your workspace, there are expectations that we are putting on ourselves that aren't equating. Because me, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm a chameleon. I'm a chameleon by trade. I know how to adapt to every situation.
Absolutely.
And I feel as though you absolutely have to do that. But what I'm saying, right, it's knowing when, where, and there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place for everything. And for you yourself, in your home life, in your work life, I think that those moments where you are trying to put pressure on yourselves or fit into something that you're not supposed to be is where it causes the most strain within your life.
I get you. And that should be the most important part. That should be the most important part on where you're judging that from.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Not forget that, whether it's your husband, it's your partner, your children, your family, that central. You don't forget about that central.
Right. Exactly.
What's holding together. What are you doing all this for? Who are you doing?
Exactly.
Where it comes back to. Oh my God, this is so good. Someone said on here, they were like, oh yes, this is so good. I love
good.
I'm sorry, I have seen your comments on here, but we're having this discussion. And so we're talking discussion. I can't respond to you guys here. So hold on, Vyky. I want to tell you some things that some people have been saying. This is so good. Yes. I love these comments. Oh, yes.
Oh, I love it.
Thinking about homework makes my head spin.
Trust me. Mine too. That's why I'm glad Google exists.
Yes. Oh, my God. You guys are awesome. I got 1,000 things to do. Only 24 hours to do in a day. So, yeah, so it's really good. This is really good for people. And so I'm going to open it. What we have with 750.
Okay.
So I'm going to open it up, ladies. Some of you are on here. If you have a question, type it in the chat. I can see it there, and you can. I can answer it. I'm going to let Vyky answer it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you have any questions there, ladies, please shoot it at us.
And then one more thing, just
yes,
while they're typing the questions, I would love to answer anything. But I do also want to say that there are 24 hours in a day, and if you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours, if 16 hours are left during your woke time, you need to also make sure for yourself, be completely honest with yourself. How is it that you're breaking up your time? How much time are you spending just filling time? There are 16 hours in a day, and mind you, a lot can get done a 16-hour period, and a lot can't, especially being a parent, but you are able to still parent within those blocks.
That's
but
right.
how much time are you sitting in front of the TV not doing anything? How much time is it that you're spending on your phone just surfing the web while your child is pulling on you? Make sure that your time is allocated, and be absolute true to yourself. Have a moment, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, or ask yourself, you know, like, hey, what more could you be doing? How could you be better? And be honest with yourself. The only person that knows you better than you is you. Is you. So just there, for me, myself, it is something that I have been working on. So that's how I know that I know everybody is working on it, because there's times where I'm sitting and I'm just, I love the reality TV shows, and I'll put one on and I'm like, all right, Vyky, what else is it that you can be doing with your time? You know, all right, now maybe go love on your babies just for a second. They've been trying to get at you all day.
Yeah, and that's good. That's true. That's one of her tips, you all. That's one of Vyky's tips. Make sure, being honest and being real.
Be real with yourself.
Be real and be honest with yourself, and take a look at really, when you're saying, I can't balance all this, I don't have enough time in the day, I don't have this. When you start saying those things, take a hard look in the mirror, like Vyky said, and think about it. How are you allocating your time? If you have to get to the point, Vyky, I don't know if you do this sometimes, but if you have to get to the point where you writing this stuff down,
I love to write things down.
This is what I have to do today. This is my calendar. This is my thing. And not saying that if one thing is left off, that you're a loser, you're a bad mom. Not saying that, but it helps you stay a little bit focused. Like she was saying, you know, if you've been watching and surfing for 6 hours, what?
Right. And I'm telling you, write it down, because then all of a sudden, for me, myself, there's 5 big things that I try to achieve every single day. If that's 5 phone calls, you know, 5 things. 5 seems to be the number that works for me. 5 big things that I can accomplish every single day. And when I don't accomplish one of them, it bleeds into the next day. And how much bleed time is there? How many things are kind of trickling over to the next day? And if so, why are they trickling? Why? And I need to ask myself, all right, Vyky, it's because you were doing this over here or this over here that didn't need your time. You're absolutely right. That's the only thing you can say to yourself, because nobody else is going to be able to keep you accountable but you.
Yes, it's true. And so that's awesome. This has been great.
Yeah, I'm glad. I've enjoyed the talk.
This has been a great talk. You know, I'm so happy, so excited, you know, that we were able to get on here and get you on here, and all you all joined us, listen to us. So it was really, really good. Any last thoughts, Vyky, or anything you'd like to share? Any kind of special tools you use, or anything you like to tell us about what's going on with you in the near future? I know you have I Am Brave.
I Am Brave is coming up in September.
Okay,
in September, and I know that people don't realize that it takes a year, but I promise you, it takes a year to plan it. For anybody out there, I don't know how many business women we have online tonight, but I do want to let you know that if you do have a business or a business that you're starting to launch, make sure that you put it online. Understand that we are in a complete digital age right now. Everything is done online. If your business is not online, if your product is not online, it's like you opened up a business and you didn't tell anybody. So please make sure that, you know, start an Instagram page, a Facebook page, you know, start following people, start commenting on other accounts. That way they can see who you are. Just if you have your own business, of course, I'm a business entrepreneur, so those are the type of tips that I can give.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great. You know, we talk about balance, but, you know, that's what you do, because that's your other part of what you do. And what else do you do? I know we talk about I Am Brave, but with your other company, what else do you do? What type of services do you offer?
We do social media marketing. That's why, of course, I had to bring up the social media. So we do content creation, social media marketing, lead generation, putting in place sales funnels for businesses to turn social media, use it as the tool that it is for a business professional, and then translating that into actual revenue for your business.
Okay.
So setting in place. That's why if you have a business, please make sure that it's online. Collect email addresses. That's a way that you can direct market to your customer or client over and over again, and make sure you utilize the tools that you have at your hand. And then also, ladies, there's so much information out there, YouTube is a wonderful tool. Use it for the tool that it is. Go there and study and just listen. If there's anything that you want to learn, a new hobby that you want to start, something you've been dying to educate yourself on, go ahead and educate yourself on. You don't need to go find a friend of a friend that maybe does it and they can teach you. Go out and do it yourself.
That's good.
Because you have everything in front of you.
I have IamBrave.com, but what is your other website for your social media business? I'm going to type it in here so people can have that as well.
It's onealliancegroup.com.
Oops. All right, good. There. So there's how you can reach Vyky here, onealliancegroup.com. I put both. I don't know if you can see the Vyky, but I put those up there. Did I type it right?
I believe so. I'm trying to figure out how to do the chat part.
But I think I typed it right. And I wanted you guys to get up there. To see us here, you can reach her and put her things out there. So I put those websites up there to reach her. So thank you so much, Vyky, for joining today. Thank you all for joining. Tomorrow, if you're not busy, 7 p.m., we're going to be back here with Dr. Sakisha Heilich. She's going to be talking about relationships, marriages, and anything else. So we're going to be talking about that because sometimes those are some not sometimes, but relationships are important areas of our life. So we're going to be talking about that, moms and relationships. So come back and join us if you want to. The Hot Mom Summit will be back here every day this week until Friday. So we're signing off. Vyky, thank you. Take care of those beautiful babies.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Good luck with everything. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for joining us.